I'm Amethyst the Mermaid. Welcome to Evening Stories. Tonight we're going to read Papi the Pirate. Papi was a pirate, a tough and ready one. He had a ship with long grey masts that reached up to the sun. The ship was huge and vast and big. It sailed across the seas. But Papi was alone on it, apart from all the bees. The bees came for the honey pot, which Papi liked to keep, tied in his belt for safety's sake and in his pockets deep. He used his sword, his big round fist, and to keep the bees at bay, and in between each punch and prod, he'd fight the bees all day. The problem was that Papi was too busy with the bees and didn't notice just ahead an island with some trees. The ship moved forward with a gust and headed fast for land, whilst Papi was too busy with his sword and fist in hand. The ship went clunk and bang, and then it stopped with quite a jerk. Papi fell right forward and his brain began to work. He looked around and saw that he was stranded on a beach. His pirate ship was grounded. He gave a little screech. "Oh no, oh my pirate ship, what am I now to do?" He shouted to the skies and seas and wished he had a crew. He needed them to push and push his boat back out to sea, but all he had to do was look, and he might have seen Tufi. Tufi was standing by a tree and hiding by the trunk. It wasn't sure what made that awful bang and crash and clunk. Tufi was different to anything Papi might have seen. He had 3 heads, 3 arms, 3 legs, and a body like a bean. Papi took up his telescope and looked around. He looked to the west, to the east, to the south, but nothing he had found. Tufi moved forward cautiously. He moved from tree to tree. He crept right up to Papi's ship and went on bended knee. "Hello there," Tufi called out to Papi on his ship. "Would you be stuck on this here beach and need a little shift?" Papi jumped 1,000,000 miles as he saw Tufi ahead. He'd never seen a creature afore with quite so many heads. Papi saw he had no choice and needed Tufi to push. He jumped down to meet his friend with quite a little whoosh. He skidded over the sandy beach and Tufi watched with glee. He thought, this pirate is quite mad, as Papi hit a tree. Papi was sore he'd had enough. What more was there to come? He wanted to get back to sea and was cross for what he'd done. If only he watched his ship go softly through the sea, he would now be having his honey for his tea. Tufi looked cautiously at the man looking down the beach. He looked quite cross and angry. Tufi gave a little screech. The creature was quite nervous, but stood up and towered high. He knew that he could help this man. He felt that he might cry. He bravely smiled at Papi. A very friendly chap was he. He offered strength, ropes and fish to pull Papi back to sea. Papi accepted happily, and soon the two were friends. They shared a drink and honey, and soon were on the mend. The creature fetched his ropes, and then he called his friends, the fish. It wasn't long before they had prepared a little wish. The wish was that the pirate ship would head back out to sea, and leave Tufi quite alone with just his favourite tree. And so it was, in time the ship moved closer to the sea. They pushed, pulled, and worked so hard, moving further from the tree. Out to sea they worked to put the ship back out on course. All it took from all of them was just a little force. Papi waved so happily to all the friends he'd made. He wasn't going to make the same mistake and find that he had strayed. He put away his honey and made friends with all the bees. He wasn't going to find himself again amongst some trees. Papi was a pirate, a tough and ready one. He had a ship with long grey masts that reached up to the sun. The ship was huge and vast and big. It sailed across the seas. But Papi was alone on it, apart from his friends, the bees.